Hey there! Do you find yourself easily bothered by bright lights or strong smells? Or maybe you get a bit anxious when people watch you work, causing you to underperform. Perhaps when you're jamming to your favorite tunes, you find yourself getting emotionally invested, even to the point of shedding a tear or two. If this sounds like you might be part of the 15 to 20% of people who are considered highly sensitive. Welcome, folks, to the Dark Psychology World channel. Not sure what's going on? Ever heard of the term highly sensitive people? Maybe it's a new phrase for you. But believe it or not, you probably know quite a few. They could be your friends, your family, or hey, you might even be one yourself. So, what's the deal with these highly sensitive folks? And how does it affect them? Stick around if you want to learn more. We're just getting started. First off, a big thank you to all of you for your ongoing support. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and do it now. Alright, let's dive in. We're talking about highly sensitive people, or HSPs. The more formal term is sensory processing sensitivity, or SBS. This refers to folks who are deeply attuned to both internal and external stimuli. They're like emotional sponges, easily overwhelmed by their feelings. This term was first introduced in the mid-90s by American psychologist Elaine Aron and her husband. But it's important to note, being highly sensitive isn't a mental disorder. It's a psychological trait. As the name suggests, these individuals are super sensitive. They're quick to pick up on subtle changes and feel emotions more intensely than the average Joe. And it's not all bad, there are upsides and downsides to this sensitivity. According to stats, about 15 to 20% of the global population are HSPs. That's roughly 1 in 5 people. However, there's currently no official data on the gender breakdown. So, there you have it. Stay tuned for more. According to Elaine Aron, this trait can be summed up by the acronym DOES: depth of processing, overstimulation, emotional responsiveness, and sensitivity to subtle stimuli. Highly sensitive people, or HSPs, tend to think deeply about things. When they come across something new, they'll stop, observe, and think carefully about the possible outcomes of each decision. They consider the cost, the impact on others, and how others perceive them. It's like they're weaving a complex web of information, analyzing everything in detail. For instance, if you ask them to remember a phone number without writing it down, they won't just repeat the number over and over. Instead, they'll connect the numbers to other related things, consciously or not. This could be other numbers, past experiences, or anything else that comes to mind. This means they often have a lot of information in their heads, which can be overwhelming. HSPs are also easily overstimulated. They might feel uncomfortable in a room with bright lights or loud noises, or if their clothes get wet. These situations might be annoying for most people, but for HSPs, it can feel like they're on the verge of going crazy. And their complaints might even drive the people around them a little nuts. And don't even think about surprising them. Even a happy surprise, like a birthday party, can make them feel uneasy. The joy of the surprise can't make up for the initial shock. So, there you have it. That's a quick rundown of what it's like to be a highly sensitive person. Also, they often say, "Don't watch me work," or "I can't continue." When they're alone, they can handle all sorts of challenges. But the moment someone's watching, or they're asked to perform in front of a crowd, they struggle to keep it together and show their true abilities. Empathy and emotional responsiveness are why highly sensitive people often end up in tears. They easily feel others' sadness and pain. So, they often find themselves feeling sorry for others. For instance, when they see someone being hurt or wronged, they might start crying even before anyone else does. That's why most highly sensitive people avoid violent or very sad movies. Otherwise, the movie theater might turn into a flood zone. Just kidding. But seriously, this empathy isn't just an abstract concept. Studies on the human brain have discovered something called mirror neurons. They work like a mirror, reflecting what you see onto yourself and imitating others' behaviors. And this imitation isn't just about physical movements. When mirror neurons receive information, they imitate it in the brain. This can also include practicing others' movements. So, why imitate? Don't just think of it as imitation. Mirror neurons are crucial for understanding others' behaviors. This is how humans can imitate and learn new skills faster. Some experts believe that being highly sensitive is also linked to language ability. Let's dive back into the world of highly sensitive people. When researchers used functional magnetic resonance imaging to observe their brain activity, they found something interesting. When these folks looked at emotional images, like a hilarious face or a sad family scene, or even a stranger's happy expression, their mirror neurons fired up more than the average person's. This leads to more emotional reactions, which is why they're more likely to empathize. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Feeling others' emotions so intensely can be tough. It's like they're emotional chameleons, constantly changing colors based on the feelings of those around them. Highly sensitive people seem to have superpowers. They can pick up on things that most people miss, like a quiet sound, a faint smell, subtle changes in people and things, or even a taste that others didn't notice. Sounds like a super taster, right? According to Dr. Elaine Aron, some people do have particularly developed sensory organs. But for most, it's not about having superpowered eyes, noses, or tongues. It's their brains that do the heavy lifting, processing sensory information more carefully than others. So, you'll find highly sensitive people with poor eyesight and hearing too. Take this one highly sensitive person, for example. His office was on the second floor, right above a bakery. Every afternoon, when the bread was fresh out of the oven, he could smell it right away. His colleagues would only start to smell the aroma about 5 minutes later. Another time, he went to a ball shop with his family to apply rubber. As soon as he walked in, he felt that the floor was uneven. He had to wait outside while his family shopped. They didn't feel anything strange, but the shop owner confirmed that the floor was indeed a bit sloping. Not many people noticed it, but he did. These superpowers can give them an edge in some situations. But they can't always notice everything, especially when they're tired. Their sensitivity might decrease. So, there you have it. That's a glimpse into the world of highly sensitive people. So, we've covered the 4 main traits of highly sensitive people. But remember, you don't have to tick all these boxes to be part of the club. Sometimes, just resonating with 1 or 2 of these characteristics might mean you're a highly sensitive person. Now, this isn't a formal test, just a description of their traits. Wondering if you're a highly sensitive person? There are tests developed by 2 PhD scholars with a total of 20 questions. I can't list them all here due to copyright issues, but I'll share a few common situations. The complete test link will be in the info section, so you can check it out after the video. One test is from American psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron, and the other is from a Danish psychotherapist. So, how many of these situations apply to you? Research suggests that high sensitivity is likely inherited. Psychologist Jerome Kagan conducted a study observing 500 4-month-old babies. He noticed that 1 in 5 babies reacted differently to environmental changes, like a new toy color, a balloon popping, or their mother suddenly not speaking after smiling at them. These babies were more reactive, waving their limbs and crying nonstop. Kagan followed up with these babies when they were 2, 4, 7, and 11 years old. The results were consistent. The kids who were hyper-responsive as babies still sought new stimulation more than others as they grew up. People often perceive highly sensitive people as more emotional, overthinkers, slow to react, and introverted. While there's a correlation between high sensitivity and introversion, not all highly sensitive people are introverts. In fact, research shows that 30% of highly sensitive people are extroverts. So, is high sensitivity a disadvantage or an advantage? As I mentioned earlier, high sensitivity isn't a disease, it's a personality trait. In my view, it's more like an innate talent. Sure, it can cause some trouble, but it also allows for sharper observational skills and a broader perspective on things. With a positive mindset, it can definitely give you an edge in life. Your environment and upbringing can shape your beliefs, but if you're a highly sensitive person, don't shy away from it. Embrace your strengths and the unique advantages they bring. And if you don't know any highly sensitive people, be more understanding and supportive of them. If you have any experiences to share, feel free to leave a comment below. And don't rush off just yet. Here are 2 more videos you might like. Give them a watch, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button before you go. Share these fascinating insights with your friends and family, and hit the subscribe bell for notifications on new videos. This is the Dark Psychology World channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.